guys, the Super Review Show here for some movie recommendations. This is not a regular video that I would normally do, but I just wanted to plug for most of you who are home, who are still stuck at home, and if you have the ability in these dark times to, with COVID, to watch a movie and rent it, I have a couple of recommendations for you for your quarantine life moving forward. The first one right off the bat, I gotta say, is The Usual Suspects. This movie is, without getting into too much detail of it, it's basically about these 5 criminals who are brought into custody, and one of them is questioned about what happened at the docks, and the ending is one of the best endings I've ever seen ever in any movie ever. The ending of it is spectacular. It's one of the most talked about movies ever. It's widely regarded as a groundbreaking drama from the 90s. So first one I'm going to recommend is Usual Suspects. The second one I'm going to recommend is actually a movie that most people have seen, but some people find it very weird, and I actually liked it. I didn't love it, but it was one of Quentin Tarantino's first movies. It's called Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is, just to be honest, I had a little trouble staying with it, if you know what I mean. For those who've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's a very complex story, as most Quentin Tarantino films are. They're full of action, they're full of this, they're full of that. But honestly, one of the best things about it, to me personally, is, forget like the visuals or the actual acting, the script is actually really great. I seriously recommend watching Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino, one of his earlier films. It might be his first film, if I'm not mistaken. But I do recommend, so it's Usual Suspects, Pulp Fiction, with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. Great chemistry, dynamic, the whole thing. It's great. The last movie that I'm going to recommend for your quarantine fix, if you will, is The Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption is a very unique story to it as well. It was based on a Stephen King short novel. And it basically describes how this man was wrongfully accused in prison, and he's basically, without getting into too much detail, he meets Morgan Freeman's character, who I believe won an Oscar for it. I could be wrong about that, but it was a really tough year, actually, because it came out in 1994. So Pulp Fiction and the one I just mentioned, Usual Suspects, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, and Forrest Gump came out in the same year. And basically, Shawshank Redemption is very sad, but it's moving at the same time. How this guy's wrongfully accused, the warden's a total dick, the whole thing. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It really is. It's in my top 10, maybe my top 15, if you will. It's a phenomenal film. In fact, but here's the thing: it was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars in 1994. But it did not win. Forrest Gump won Forrest Gump won over it, but Shawshank Redemption did not win Best Picture that year. Even though I thought, to be completely honest, I love Forrest Gump and I love Shawshank Redemption, but to me, Shawshank was a little bit more of an emotional movie as far as like the depth goes and the quality goes. Because everyone knows Forrest Gump, but almost everyone forgets Shawshank Redemption. So, it is a beloved film now, but let's not forget, that movie bombed when it first came out. It took a long time for it to become the classic standard that we all know it is today. Plus, it's always on AMC or TBS or whatever during night and all that stuff. But yeah, anyways, my 3 movie recommendations for your quarantine life are as follows: The Usual Suspects, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank Redemption. So if you want to get on that, go ahead, jump on that. And once you're finished, comment below and let me know. Sorry, Jeremy Johns. Let me know what you guys thought about those movies if you have not seen them. If you have seen them, share your comments and thoughts in the comment section below. I love to hear your thoughts. But for all of your movie recommendations, we might do more of this for all we know. Keep it locked on the Super Review Show. J-Man, off to work.